So you're on a date. It's going great. The conversation is flowing, you're laughing, you feel that spark. And then she asks a question that feels a little pointed, a little too specific. Suddenly it feels less like a fun date and more like a high-stakes job interview you didn't prepare for. We've all been there. That feeling of confusion, of walking on eggshells, wondering if you just failed a pop quiz you didn't even know you were taking. But what if I told you these moments aren't just random? And more importantly, what if they aren't malicious? Most of the time, these little probes aren't even fully conscious. It's a natural filtering process to figure out one simple thing. Are you the real deal? Is the confidence you're showing on the surface genuine, or will it crack under the slightest pressure? These aren't games designed to trip you up. They are opportunities to show her who you really are. It's a way for her to gauge your emotional strength, your character, and your vibe. Deep down, she isn't hoping you'll fail. She's hoping you're the guy who will pass with flying colors. In this video, I'm going to break down the psychology behind why these key moments happen in dating and give you the 5 most common ones you'll face. More importantly, I'm going to give you the playbook on how to handle every single one, not by using tricks or lines, but by developing the unshakable, authentic confidence that women find incredibly attractive. So you can stop feeling like you're in an interview and start genuinely connecting with her. Sign number 1, the opinion challenge. All right, let's start with one of the most common and subtle dynamics you'll face on the first few dates, the opinion challenge. You're talking about movies, music, or your favorite Saturday night spots. You mention a movie you genuinely love and she smirks and goes, "Really? You don't actually like that movie, do you? It was so cheesy." Or maybe you mention a hobby you're passionate about and she just raises an eyebrow and says, "Oh, that's a interesting choice." What's happening here? It feels like a small disagreement, but it's more than that. This isn't just about your taste in films. This is a little probe for your confidence. She's not trying to start a fight. She's seeing if you have a backbone. Will you immediately backtrack just to get her approval? Or will you get defensive and try to logically prove why your preference is right? Most guys fail here by doing one of two things. They either fold immediately to avoid conflict, or they get defensive to justify their preference. Both reactions scream insecurity. The first tells her you'll abandon your own identity for validation. The second tells her you're so fragile that a minor disagreement feels like a personal attack. So, how do you pass? With calm, playful self-assurance. You don't back down, but you don't get defensive. You own your opinion without needing her to co-sign it. If she says, "You seriously like that movie?" Instead of backtracking, lean into it with a smile. Say something like, "Absolutely, it's a cinematic masterpiece. My taste is just one of my many charming qualities." Then you can playfully turn it back to her. "But I'm curious, what's your go-to so bad it's good movie?" If she teases your hobby, agree and amplify. "Oh, it's more than interesting. It's a way of life. You have no idea what you're missing." The key is the energy. It's warm, confident, and playful. You're communicating, "I know what I like, I'm secure in it, and your opinion doesn't shake my sense of self." By responding this way, you're not just passing a test, you're actively building attraction. You're showing her that you're your own man, and that is exactly the kind of guy she can respect and ultimately be drawn to. Sign number 2, the hot and cold test. Number 2 on the list is one that drives most men absolutely crazy, the hot and cold dynamic. Here's how it goes. You have an amazing first date. The chemistry is electric. For the next 2 days, you're texting back and forth constantly. She's engaged, laughing, initiating. You're thinking, this is going perfectly. And then, crickets. Your last text sits there, delivered but unanswered. A day goes by, then 2. You see she's active on social media, but your phone is silent. What do most men do? They panic. Their minds race. Did I say something wrong? Is she not interested anymore? Did someone else show up? This panic leads to a fatal mistake, chasing. They send a "just checking in" text, or worse, a double or triple text trying to force a reply. This behavior screams neediness and a lack of options. You failed the test. So, what's really going on? A woman's interest, especially early on, isn't always a straight line. It ebbs and flows. Her pulling back could be for a dozen reasons that have nothing to do with you. She got slammed at work, a personal issue came up, or she's simply distracted. Remember, you're not her boyfriend at this stage. But while you might not know the reason, her silence still acts as a test of your emotional core. Will you get insecure and needy? Or will you remain centered and confident, independent of her attention? Here's how you pass. You do nothing. You lean back. A high-value man who is confident and has a purpose isn't rattled when a woman takes a few days to text back. He's not sitting by the phone waiting because he's busy building his career, hitting the gym, and seeing his friends. His world doesn't stop because her attention wavers. Let her be the one to break the silence. When she eventually does reach out, and if there's real interest, she will, you don't punish her or act cold. Just respond with the same warm, positive energy as before, as if you barely noticed she was gone. Don't ask, "Hey, where did you go?" That comes off as weak and accusatory. Just pick up the conversation. This calm, unbothered response communicates something incredibly powerful. Your emotional state isn't dependent on her. You're a man with his own life and purpose. While you enjoy her company, you don't need her attention to feel secure. This demonstrates immense inner strength and makes you far more attractive than any amount of chasing ever could. You're not playing a game. You're just showing that your life is full and exciting with or without her, which paradoxically makes her want to be a part of it even more. Sign number 3, the temperament test. Number 3 can feel a bit more direct and personal. The temperament test, also known as pushing your buttons. This is when she intentionally pokes at you with witty, provocative, or even slightly annoying comments to see how you handle pressure. She might tease you about your shirt, make a joke at your expense, or ask a loaded question like, "So, how many other girls are you talking to right now?" She might even show up a little late for a date just to see if she can get a rise out of you. The goal here is simple. She's seeing what you're made of. Can you remain calm and composed, or are you easily rattled? A man who loses his temper or gets defensive over a small poke is showing emotional immaturity. He's signaling that he can't handle the inevitable challenges of a real relationship. She's looking for the calm, centered man, who is the rock in the storm, not the leaf blown away by every little gust of wind. The wrong way to handle this is to get defensive, angry, or start justifying yourself. If she teases you about your shirt and you say, "What's wrong with it? It's a good shirt," you failed. If she asks if you're a player and you get flustered and start over-explaining, you've also failed. The way to pass this test is to respond with playful humor and unshakable calm. You have to see these pokes for what they are, an invitation to play. Not taking yourself too seriously is a massive sign of confidence. For example, if she teases your shirt, you can smile and say, "I know, right? I had to give you a fighting chance. Couldn't be this handsome and have perfect fashion sense." You agree, and then exaggerate in a playful way. If she asks, "Are you hitting on me?" don't give a literal yes or no. Respond with a confident smirk and say, "Is it working? Then yes." Or, if she asks if you use that compliment on all the girls, you can playfully reply, "Nope, just the ones who are clearly special." What if she's late? Don't get angry or passive-aggressive. When she arrives, you can playfully say, "I was about to send out a search party. Glad you're safe." You address it, but with a light, humorous touch that shows you noticed, but aren't bothered. By responding this way, you're communicating that you are unflappable. Her little jabs don't land because your self-worth isn't on the line. You're showing her that you can handle a bit of tension with grace and humor, which is an incredibly attractive trait. It tells her you're emotionally stable and mature, a man she can feel safe with. Sign number 4, the jealousy test. The fourth sign is a classic, and it can be one of the most frustrating, the jealousy test. This is when other men come up in conversation and your reaction is put under a microscope. She might casually mention her guy friend she's meeting for coffee, talk about how many guys are messaging her, or even bring up a story about an ex. In more direct cases, she might even flirt a little with the waiter or bartender right in front of you. What this moment reveals is crystal clear: your level of security and confidence. Are you a man who is secure in his own value? Or are you an insecure, jealous guy who immediately sees other men as a threat? Your reaction tells her everything about your self-worth. The failing response is obvious: getting visibly jealous, angry, or insecure. If you start interrogating her about the other guy, act cold and withdrawn, or try to puff out your chest, you have spectacularly failed. You've just shown her that you don't believe you're good enough and that you see other men as competition. Trying to control her or getting possessive is the fastest way to lose her respect. So how do you pass? With complete, unwavering confidence in your own value. Your mindset should be, other guys aren't my competition. When she brings up her ex, don't engage with it emotionally. A lot of guys think this is their chance to play therapist, which is a one-way ticket to the friend zone. Instead, respond neutrally and pivot. Acknowledge it briefly, then change the subject. Wow, that sounds like an experience. Speaking of experiences, have you ever been skydiving? You're showing that her past doesn't threaten you, and you'd rather focus on the present. If she mentions another guy she's meeting, don't even flinch. A great response is total non-reactiveness. Say something like, "Cool, hope you two have fun. Let me know when you're free later this week." This shows you aren't threatened and that you trust her. It also establishes that you have your own life and aren't just waiting around for her. If she flirts with the waiter, you can even use it as a playful opportunity. Lean in with a smile and say to her, "I see you have great taste, almost as good as mine." Or even better, befriend the waiter yourself. This shows such an extreme level of social confidence that it completely flips the script. You aren't rattled, you are the source of the good vibes. By responding with calm confidence instead of insecurity, you demonstrate that you're a high-value man who isn't easily threatened. You operate from a place of abundance, not scarcity. This level of security is rare and incredibly attractive. Sign number 5, the boundary test. Finally, we come to the fifth and arguably most important one, the boundary test. This is where a woman checks your limits to see if you have self-respect or if you're a pushover. This can show up in a few ways. She might cancel plans at the last minute. She might ask for an unreasonable favor early on, like picking her up from the airport when you barely know each other. Or she might show subtle disrespect, like constantly being on her phone during your date. What she's looking for is a man who values his own time and respects himself. She is subconsciously checking whether you have a strong personal frame or if you'll just do anything to please her. It might sound paradoxical, but a woman can't respect a man she can walk all over. She isn't attracted to a yes man. She's attracted to a man with standards who isn't afraid to stick to them. Failing this test is easy. Just comply with everything. You say, "No problem," when she cancels 30 minutes before a date. You agree to drive across town for a favor, hoping it will score points. You silently watch her text her friends while you're trying to talk. When you do this, you teach her that your time and respect aren't valuable. You become the nice guy who finishes last, not because you're nice, but because you lack self-respect. Passing this test requires you to be firm but calm. You must be willing to say no or call out unacceptable behavior, but do it from a place of high value, not anger or resentment. If she cancels last minute, don't get angry, but don't be a doormat. A great response is, "That's a shame. I was looking forward to it. My week is pretty tight, but let me know when you figure out your schedule and we can try to find another time." The key is, you don't immediately offer another day. You put the ball in her court and communicate that your time is valuable. If she asks for a big, unreasonable favor early on, politely decline. You can say, I'd love to help, but I'm swamped with your priority this week. Hope you can get it sorted out. This shows you're helpful, but you prioritize your own life. If she's on her phone during the date, you can playfully call it out. Wait for a pause, and then say with a smile, "Is whatever's on that screen more interesting than me? I'll try not to take it personally." This is lighthearted but clearly communicates a boundary. Setting and enforcing boundaries shows self-respect. It demonstrates that you aren't just seeking her approval, you operate from your own set of standards. A woman will never fall for a man she doesn't respect, and she can't respect a man who doesn't respect himself. Now, these 5 scenarios are just the beginning, but understanding the psychology behind them is the key. It all comes down to authentic, internal confidence. If you've ever experienced one of these moments on a date, I want to hear about it. Drop a comment below and share your story. What happened? And how did you respond? Let's learn from each other. And if you're getting value from this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more content to help you become the strongest, most confident version of yourself. So let's recap the dynamics we covered: the opinion challenge, the hot and cold dynamic, the temperament test, the jealousy test, and the boundary test. At their core, these moments all reveal the same things about you: your confidence, your emotional stability, and your self-respect. The biggest mistake men make is seeing these as malicious games they need to win with a clever line. But that's a surface-level fix. The real way to handle these moments is to stop seeing them as tests at all. See them as opportunities to demonstrate your genuine character. This isn't about faking it until you make it. It's about building a life you're proud of, developing a strong sense of purpose, and knowing your own worth, independent of anyone's validation. When you operate from that place of authentic self-respect, you will handle these situations without even thinking about them, because your responses won't be calculated. They will simply be a natural extension of who you are. She's not looking for a perfect man. She's looking for a real man, a man who is grounded, who leads, and who won't be shaken by the small challenges that life and love will inevitably throw his way. Become that man, and you'll never have to worry about passing a test again. You'll be the man she's been hoping to find.